Norwich City are bang in trouble. They've lost at home for a seventh time in a row, and the fans, myself, everyone who follows Norwich, who loves Norwich, really, I just there is no way that we can get behind this. There's nothing to get behind. Norwich City are heading for League One, and impressively, 12, 13 games into a championship season, a season in which we were promised that we had spent money and built this playoff ready squad under a playoff ready, domestically experienced manager. 12, 13 games into that season that we were promised, we're almost certain of relegation. And do you know what? It's not hyperbole. It's not being dramatic. It's not taking things out of context. It's not being doom and gloom for the sake of being doom and gloom. Norwich City sit in the bottom three, and it might take a few weeks extra to get to the bottom space because of Sheffield Wednesday and the position they find themselves in. But my goodness, what an absolute disgrace they are at the moment. It's a match reaction, but it's more than that. It's a look at Norwich City and where they are, and it's the same conversation we keep having amongst ourselves and the media, both fan media and professional media. We're all saying the same thing. Norwich City are doomed. They are absolutely doomed, and by that I mean the football. It really feels like relegation at this point is a certainty, and today's game is just another example of how pathetic they are and what a shambles they are, and the need for change remains as present as it did last week and the week before that and the week before that. And with this interview that Mark Atanasio did with Radio Norfolk during the week with fans who, you know, we've done the video, we've had the conversation about that, but with that almost putting to the forefront of the table, look, we're going to back Liam Manning, we're going to back Ben Knapper, we need time. Liam Knapper, it almost feels like Liam Knapper at this point. Liam Manning's got bags of this championship experience, and his track record is reason for him to not be sacked. It's delusion from top to bottom at Norwich City. I don't know where we go from here in terms of fixing it. We all know where we're going, but how do we stop it at this point? Because we've got an ownership group and an executive committee and a management team whose heads are so far up their own backsides that they cannot recognise what is happening and or even act on it. It's embarrassing, and it's costing a lot of money for Norwich City fans to go and watch. And I think that the protests today, whatever you want to make of it, I haven't really seen too much about it. I was sat in the River Road when a couple of tennis balls got sort of thrown onto the pitch, and I mean, I hold my hands up. You almost put that mocking tweet out to almost try and laugh about it. But what remains present is the fact that at least one Norwich City fan feels the need to do that. And it's not, I feel like the discussion isn't, oh, should we be protesting? It's almost looking at how to do it, which is, it really is a symbol of where Norwich City are. And I don't know what happens from here. What should happen is what I'll now go on to talk about, is Liam Manning, first and foremost, needs to go. And amazing, isn't it? We spoke about this being a match reaction. But Liam Manning needs to go. You had players after the game wiping tears from their faces as they sort of limped round the pitch, applauding, and I don't even know what you want to call it. A round of sorrow is what it looked like. And Liam Manning went straight down the tunnel, and that's your leader. That's the person who has said, look, we're going to get our heads down and we're going to work hard and we're going to try and turn this around. He's straight down the tunnel, no acknowledgement for the fans. And to be fair, you know what reaction you'll get at the moment with how we're playing and how Norwich City fans feel, but you go and front it. It's part of the job. It's what you signed up for. You have to own up to what is going on. You can't just keep talking in hypotheticals about getting credit in the bank to almost allow a loss. You can't talk about getting your head down and working hard if that's the display you're going to put on at Carrow Road, but not even at Carrow Road, away from home as well, where you have 45 minutes of football that looks okay, and then again and again and again the second half, Norwich City fall apart. And we get to the 80th minute, don't we, in every game, and it's almost like, oh, maybe we could nick a point here. And either, if the second goal doesn't come, then Norwich City continue to just sort of almost I have no words to describe the way they play. It's so lethargic. It's so uninspired. And I see, my dad said to me at full time, when you see the coaching staff come onto the pitch and they're doing the high fives with the players and stuff, even after a loss. And my problem isn't with that. I'm looking at that coaching staff thinking, what the hell are you getting up to during the week to warrant this level of performance? And there are teams who go down, and the teams that go down have, there's normally a set of circumstances of, I don't know, like Sheffield Wednesday with the peril they're in, or a team who haven't spent or don't have the financial capacity to almost compete in the league. Norwich City have spent a lot of money, whether it's from funds they've generated themselves or an injection of cash from the ownership, that doesn't matter. They have spent significant fees on players to come into this league and push for the playoffs, and they all look terrible at the moment and heading for League One. And it's interesting, isn't it? Because it's the conversation we've had before of how easy it is to slip down the championship table when you're out of form, and how easy it is to get swallowed up and spat out and in such a horrible, ugly fashion. And we're here. And based off of, as I mentioned earlier, the conversation last week, so the things Mark Atanasio said, what's going to change? Liam Manning will remain Norwich City head coach. Ben Knapper will remain sporting director. The exec committee will continue to pat each other on the back at whatever the hell it is they get up to on a daily basis. And we as fans have to be subjected to, not cheap prices at all, just shocking football. Shocking, disengaging, depressing football. And speaking of, how long have we been doing this for? 6 minutes, and we've not even mentioned the game today. First half, looked okay. Created a couple of chances. Norwich City at home in the Championship should be playing a damn sight better. There's almost the only way that this will get turned around at this point is a miracle of Norwich City just coming out and doing everything they haven't been doing for no apparent reason at all, and playing expressively and creatively, and trying to do something that they haven't done, which is, try and pierce that back line of a team. And there's a couple of moments in the first half where, there was a really great chance for Sargent. I think Makama was a real handful for the whole defence. Schwartau probably not quite at it today, but at half-time we're sat there, and it's not about, can we build on this decent first half? And really, I need to stress that the word decent still feels like an over-compliment. But we're sat there and we know what's going to happen. And guess what? 3 minutes into the second half, it happens. The heads go down. You look at the Norwich team and you think, where are the experienced pros there? You look at McLean and Duffy, who came back into the lineup, and you think, right, how are you going to dig in and almost inspire the team to just do something? And what you see is what you get. A really poor Norwich City team. The back three was back today. I don't really care that it came back to start with, but it was more the lack of recognition that it just was not working. Rory McConville, bless him, did not have a great game at all. His passing was terrible, and we sort of got to that 60-minute mark and we were waiting for that clockwork substitution. That was the only thing Manning did differently today, was no substitution at 60 minutes. And McConnell's passing was terrible, and it really didn't feel like there was a benefit to having that third centre-back. And Fisher, he's not a right wing-back. He's not got the crossing style to be a right wing-back. He's not got the pace. He's not got the urgency to get forward in a wide position that someone like Jack Stacey has. I'm not saying he's the answer at all by any means, but the fact that, but again, to make it about the football, the fact that you've got a head coach who is supposed to be so experienced in this league, and he's supposed to be the answer, essentially, is not recognising that it's really worrying. And I just, when that goal went in, it almost felt like for the following, 10, 15 minutes, that Carrow Road almost just didn't care. It was to be expected. It was, oh, there it is. If you don't laugh at it, you cry, because it's just like clockwork at this point. Norwich City just crumbling in the second half, and then after conceding a goal, the heads go down, and there was a little bit of fight. There was a little bit, but not enough. Not anywhere near enough. And that only lasted for, 15, 20 minutes. And please, again, when I say a bit of fight, it really is about as far as it goes. And yeah, Jeffrey Sharp today again. First half was decent. He was an outlet. He actually played like what a wing back should look like, really. But it's just there is no defined method to what Norwich City try and do. Palamatson and not to put my head on a chopping block here, but I like Palamatson. You can kind of see he's this robust midfielder who wants to get forward and play the ball forward. And he tried a couple of times to sort of stab it forward. And there was a couple of passes that worked, but there were also in the first half a couple of those passes where you hear the moans and groans. And it's almost like he's trying at times to, almost delude himself that that ball is there. But I almost respect him for trying to just stab the ball forward because it's so backwards and sideways. And yeah, Shane Duffy, clearly not the answer. I don't really want to talk about Shane Duffy. Harry Darling, his regression in a yellow shirt has been mesmerising for the last 4 weeks. He stunk the place out. I mentioned it, I think, after the Swansea game. I didn't actually do a video for that. But again, today, his head just completely dropped. And he's meant to be one of these sort of experienced championship players. And when your experienced championship players are dropping their heads and being spun far too easily and just really being just playing really poorly, then you're doomed, aren't you? You're absolutely doomed. And yeah, I don't know. I mean, Atanasio during the week blamed it on injuries. Please, I challenge. I think we're all on the same page here, but I challenge absolutely anyone to sort of pick out a name from the current injury crop and tell me how and why they'd make a difference to the way Norwich City are playing. Just because you've got certain personnel out doesn't mean that you shouldn't still at least play with a little bit of identity. Or maybe this is Norwich's identity now, just being crap, just being absolutely rubbish. And the fact that, again, to make it about the larger point at hand here and Ben Knapper and recruitment, the fact that we almost have to laugh and talk about Shane Duffy coming back is just, with Medic on the bench. And I'm not saying Medic is definitely better than Duffy or he's the answer. It's just he's the man that you've signed under your new regime and your new recruitment strategy. Yet Shane Duffy has to come back and almost score a header to put us 1-0 up in the first half. And it's a shambles from top to bottom. And it almost feels harsh to chuck the young lad Mundell Smith on at the end, who personally I'm not well acquainted with. Looked at my phone, striker, attacking midfielder, forward basically, playing in right wing back. If that's not a statement from Manning to Knapper about look at the squad you've provided me, then I don't know what is. And yeah, I mean, to sign the video off, Manning straight down the tunnel. I almost don't blame him, but I think it's a disgrace. Norwich City in general at the moment are an absolute disgrace. Will it change? Probably not. I think Wednesday will be. And I said to my dad sort of during the game, it feels like every game is going to be like this now, but Norwich City need to start winning games. But the only team who sit below Norwich City in the Championship at the moment are Sheffield Wednesday. And Norwich play them on Wednesday. And of the two teams, who are you backing? You're backing Sheffield Wednesday. They're in peril. Their supporters don't deserve what has been going on for such a long time, and the players and everyone associated with that club don't deserve the absolute chaos that club has been for the past few years. And I mean, hopefully there's a way out for it for them, and they're fighting for their lives at the moment. And Norwich City should be on the pitch. They won't be. We know what will happen Wednesday. Me and Adam will be recording a pod tomorrow. Hopefully we can create a bit of structure and find particular talking points to create some sort of coherent, not messy like this sort of video piece of content. But yeah, I don't know. It's embarrassing. It's shameful to be a Norwich City fan at the moment. They're heading down to League One, and I don't see why that's going to change or how it's going to change. But yeah, appreciate you watching. Catch you in the next one.